Hello everyone. Thank you for taking time to join me in this webinar today. I am Priya and I am a product marketer for Zoho Sign. I have with me on panel product experts from Zoho Sign, Zoho Writer and Zoho Flow. In this session, we'll walk you through a simpler approach to handle your end-to-end agreements with Zoho apps. Well, Allow me to just share my screen. Yeah, at any point during the webinar, you can just use the questions tab to raise questions, and my colleagues on the panel will be answering them when I am presenting. If you have any audio or video issues, feel free to reconnect again. And yeah, we are recording this session and we'll be sending the copy of the recording along with the slide deck to everybody at a later point of time. So, yeah, before we dive into this webinar, let's see what we have on the agenda for today's session. So we start with the traditional method of managing agreements and how tiresome it is. Then we'll show you how Zoho can help you elevate your existing processes, which is then followed by walkthroughs of popular use cases of Zoho Sign integration with other Zoho apps in detail. At the end, we'll have an interactive Q&A session. Now, Mauli will be taking you through the traditional method of agreement signing and how Zoho apps can make your day to day tasks easier. Over to you, Mauli.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So let's get into the presentation today. So, be it any business, let's take any business, let it be small, medium, or large enterprise. Any business has two sides to it. One is the front office, and another one is back office. Front office is where the departments like sales, marketing, and support exist. And in the back office, we have teams like finance, HR, and IT. Be it front office or back office, there is one thing which is very, very common. So, which is nothing but the agreements and paperwork. So, we need these agreements going in harmony to keep both our front office and back office up and running and the business operations up and running. So, how are agreements executed in 2022? Post the pandemic, businesses across the globe have totally transformed the way they execute their agreements, right? So, today we all expect our agreements to be digitally executed from a mobile device, from anywhere, anytime, and across the borders. So let's go a step down and see how agreements are executed in real time. Be it any process, there are four key stages to execute an agreement. So the first stage is the preparation stage. We call it as drafting. Drafting an agreement. So where we sit down with the internal and external stakeholders, write down the agreement, collaborate internally and externally. Once that is done, we will go ahead and sign the agreement from our side. And to collect signatures from other parties, we will mail them or send it to others via courier or whatever means we have, fax or whatever. And again, they will print it, manually sign it, and send it back to us. And we also need to keep safeguarding of all the signed copies somewhere in a vault. So if you are a digital company and you have apps to manage this, probably you would be using Google Docs to draft it and using a digital signature application to sign it, and you would be doing it manually with multiple apps which are totally disjoint, which don't talk to each other, right? But our customers and partners across the globe started asking us, hey, can you help us with streamlining our agreement process? At Zoho, we are building an operating system for business. So, meaning we are building apps in every single category which are tightly integrated with each other and which will help businesses to run their entire operations online. Be it front office or back office, we already have our flagship apps up and running. We have our CRM, flagship CRM, Zoho CRM, we have our Zoho Mail, and we have Zoho HRMS and Zoho Finance to take care of all your front office and back office operations. And we thought there is a good way to solve this agreement process from end to end. So this is the Zoho's way of streamlining your agreement process. So we don't just stop at the four stages: drafting, signing, sending, and managing your agreements. We also go ahead and help you with a tightly integrated suite which talks to each other, which don't just stops there. It also offers you the command to negotiate agreements, verify who is signing the document with signer's verification identity, collect payments from them when you are executing an agreement like real estate or whatever process it be. And we also have an app to manage your entire contract lifecycle management. So Zoho also goes a step forward and offers you the ecosystem and platform where we have partners and system integrators across the globe, and we have a very powerful and robust marketplace where all our apps can be integrated with your everyday apps. So Zoho apps doesn't just integrate with the Zoho ecosystem, it also readily integrates with all the popular apps starting with Microsoft Teams, Google Workspace, and whatnot. And we have our own in-house user directory with which you can import users or user group from any of your corporate identity stores. And the Zoho suite also offers you powerful API and SDKs to manage it end to end. So I will leave a minute here. So here is a quick snapshot of all the apps which will be covered today, which will help you to manage your agreements end to end. So we have apps to draft your agreements and how to securely share it with different levels of access permissions within your team. And then if you are someone who would like to add some no code workflows to manage your repetitive tasks, and how you can manage and execute agreements and collaborate internally and externally better, and finally ending it with the digitally signing the agreement. So all these would be the apps of focus today. So with this I will hand over the session back to Priya. Thank you, Priya.
Yeah, thank you, Mauli, for a quick overview of traditional agreement signing methods and a brief introduction to Zoho apps that make end to end agreements easier. So, before diving into Zoho Sign's integration with each of these Zoho apps, how about a quick poll? So, I'll just wait a minute for you guys to go through the poll and answer it accordingly. Yeah. So it's good to know that many have been already using Zoho apps for quite some time. So I hope this session helps you explore and learn more about the Zoho apps. Yeah. So moving on. So let's just take a quick look at the apps that are in focus today before diving into the integration with each of these apps. So starting with Zoho Writer, which is a powerful word processor that lets you create documents and collaborate with your teammates in real time. And now that document has been created, you can securely store, organize, and manage with Zoho WorkDrive, which is an online file management tool for your teams to work better with much ease collaboration. The next Zoho app that is in focus today is Zoho Flow, which is a powerful integration platform that helps you to automate business workflows by connecting your apps with it, which is then followed by Zoho Cliq, which is a real time internal messaging app that enables communication across teams and improves your business productivity at your workplace. And then we'll come to Zoho Mail, a secure business email suite with calendars, tasks, notes that allows you to just collaborate with your peers. Next up, we have Zoho Meeting, a safe online platform for meetings and a webinar solution that helps people in effectively collaborating as well as working remotely with more innovative ways. And then finally, we have Zoho Sign, a very simple cloud based digital signature application that is used by thousands of businesses around the world to securely sign, send, and manage the documents or agreements online. Agreements are something that is involved across various departments in any organization and in any type of business. Be it your sales team, where they spend long hours getting these sales agreements and invoices signed by customers, or be it your HR team onboarding new candidates every day, agreements are just everywhere. And using digital signatures for getting your agreement signed is a lot more secure as well as legally recognized around the world. So, Zoho Sign is one such application that can be used across various functions and roles to get your agreement signed. Now, during this agreement cycle, there are just many steps involved, starting with drafting the actual agreement and then collaborating with your internal teams, then negotiating with external stakeholders, and then finally coming to collecting those digital signatures. Now, Rohit, one of our product experts from Writer, will walk you through creating these agreements from the beginning in Zoho Writer and then sending them out for signatures with the Zoho Sign extension. Over to you, Rohit.
Yeah, thank you for the quick overview, Priya. Yeah,
Yeah.
let me share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen. Hello, everyone. This is Rohit from Zoho Writer. I hope you're all doing good. In this section of webinar, we'll be discussing the integration between Zoho Writer and Zoho Sign. In Zoho Writer, you can create documents and those documents can be sent for sign collection. If your requirement is to send out bulk documents to different people for signature, then we have an automation process in Writer which will come in handy. There are some prerequisites that you should know. You can create a document in Zoho Writer and send it for signature in Zoho Sign. If you're looking for automation, then Writer automation credit is required, which will be provided based on your Workdev subscription. And for sending the documents for sign collection, you would require a Zoho Sign credits, which will be provided based on your Sign subscription. Zoho Writer is a powerful tool using which you can create documents and share them with other users for real-time collaboration. You can automate your paperwork, workflow automation, and lot more. Why use Zoho Writer? In Zoho Writer, you have signed templates library, real-time collaboration and review tools. You can configure signers and their roles. You can control the order of signing, configure workflows post sign migration, and also build an end-to-end digital workflow involving signing. In Zoho Writer, you can create a template using two methods. You can either create a template from scratch and design it, or you can create a template over an existing PDF. There are three ways which you can send a document for signing after automation. You can use any one of these templates for automation based on your requirement and send it for signing. We have merge template, sign template, and fillable template. First, we'll see the automation process using the merge template. You have to create a merge template, insert the merge field, insert the signer field, configure the sign collection, and last, send it out for signing. When talking about the use case of using the merge template, if you are a HR department or any firm for that matters, where you would want to send out the unique documents to different people, where the content of the document might be different for each users, in that case, you can use these merge templates. You can also merge and send documents for signing for list of contacts in your Zoho CRM account itself. Here, I have used the example of sending out an internship offer letter to different users for signing. First, I'm converting the document to a merge template. Then I have to configure the data source. So we have different options in data source. Here, I'm choosing Zoho Sheet. I can either create a new workbook or I pick an existing workbook directly from my Zoho Work Drive. Here, I'm picking an existing workbook from my folder of Zoho Work Drive. After picking the workbook, I have to associate it with the merge template. Then I have to map the fields. After mapping the fields, you can insert signer fields and then configure the collection. You can add signers based on your requirement, then give them specific roles, viewer, approver, or signer. Enter the email address, or you can use a merge field for sending out the document to different users. In advanced settings, you will find various options to configure reminder notifications. You can find an option to store the signed documents to a folder in Workdev directly, or you can use a custom function and upload the document to a module in CRM. Once we run merge, we can view the status of merge and sign from Zoho Writer view log page itself. As you can see in the screenshot, you can find that the merge has been completed and the document is sent out for sign collection. After signing is completed, you will be getting the signed document as per the configuration done during the merge. Also, you can download the signed documents from the view here itself. And next, we'll see the automation using the sign template. You have to create a sign template, add the signer fields, configure them. You can either send it out for signing or you can sign yourself. If your use case is to have a template designed and signed by yourself or send it out, then you can use the sign template. For example, if you have to send out a document for approval, then you can use sign template. You can create a sign template, then add signer fields into it as shown earlier. During the configuration, you can either enter the email address and send it out for signing, or you can directly sign yourself from the option, which can be found at the top bottom on the Writer UI, and you can sign it here and submit. Here, you will also get a notification if there are any pending documents that need your signature. You can just click on it and sign directly in an easy manner. And next, we have the automation process using the fillable templates. Here also you have to create a fillable template, add the fillable fields and the signer fields, and send it for filling and signing. If your requirement is to send out a documents to users and you want them to fill out the data and also sign the document, then fillable templates will be the best fit. For example, if you're running an insurance company or a banking company where the users has to fill in the reason or some data and then sign, then fillable templates would be the best option to use as they can fill in the data and also they can sign the document. As said earlier, you can insert the fillable fields in the fillable templates and add signers and approvers, then send the form out by sharing directly or as a public link. You can also embed the document in a web page so that people who access this form will have an option to fill out the data and then sign. On submission, you can trigger options like saving the document in the work drive folder or save the response in a sheet file, or you can also use a custom function. You can also find the settings to allow the responders to act on the document upon submission. They can download or send out the document for signing. In this part, I'm show you the view in which the users accessing the fillable documents. They will get an option to enter the data into the field and then submit the form. These are the ways by which you can automate and send a document for signing using Zoho Writer and Sign. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the question box. Thank you. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Rohit, for taking us through Zoho Writer and its integration with Zoho Sign. I hope everyone found it informative. As Rohit mentioned earlier, if you have any queries, feel free to drop them in the questions tab now. Yeah. So, coming back to our agreement cycle. So, once the agreement has been created through Writer, the next step is probably sharing it with your customers for collecting payments or signatures. So, for that, a plethora of applications are being used by businesses across the world. Sometimes a direct integration between these apps that caters to your needs may not exist. However, with Zoho Flow, you can connect Zoho Sign with other Zoho apps as well as external apps like Salesforce, Stripe, PayPal, so that you could just generate business documents, collect signatures, and do much more using automated workflows. Now, Sham, one of the product experts from Flow, will walk you through the Zoho Flow and will show you how to set up an integration between Sign and other external apps using Flow. Over to you, Sham.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, Flow is a cloud integration platform which helps you connect different cloud applications together. By connecting, I mean there are different applications in the cloud where all of the organizations use a set of applications from the cloud, and connecting all these applications becomes difficult because they'll not have native integrations or inbuilt integrations together. So in that case, Zoho Flow comes in and it helps you connect different cloud applications by using their APIs and the options such as webhooks and workflow rules in that application. With Zoho Flow, these are the set of features that you can use Zoho Flow for. With Zoho Flow, you eliminate tedious and manual tasks by implementing automations and by using the APIs provided by these applications. And these automations would help you remove the physical amount of manual work that everyone has to put in to keep the data synchronized across different applications. And it also helps you break down information silos that are present in a lot of organizations, and it helps you create data driven decisions. By this I mean you can set up a logic based on the data that is received from one application to another application. And through Zoho you'll be able to communicate more effectively across applications because the data from one application can be moved to the other. And by setting up multiple automations or multiple flows, you'll be able to orchestrate processes together. And when the process is orchestrated in a better manner, a lot of these applications would be connected in a much better manner, which can help you run a much connected business. So, how does Zoho Flow fall into the Zoho ecosystem? How does it help? So there are a lot of these inbuilt integrations between a lot of applications, such as Zoho Sign has an inbuilt integration with CRM, Zoho Books has an inbuilt integration with CRM, and a lot of these applications have inbuilt integrations with each other. And Zoho Flow can help you to either be the alternative for this internal integrations, because there could be some factors that an internal integration might be missing, and Zoho Flow will be able to help you cover it up. Or you can use the Zoho Flow to complement the previously available inbuilt integration. Let's say step one is done by the inbuilt integration, and you can use Zoho Flow to perform step two and step three, which will make your automations much more intelligent. And it also helps you create out of the box integrations, let's say third party applications, and you can connect different applications. And you can also connect intranet applications if they have certain features, that such as outgoing webhooks or apis. Why Zoho Flow? I mean, why Zoho Flow as an application? It has a very visually intuitive drag and drop builder. You can just go ahead, open the Zoho Flow, and you can just drag and drop actions into the flow, and you're done. And there's just a little more configurations that need to be done. But visually, if you look at a flow, just dragging and dropping a few actions would help you actually set up the flow. And you can use a number you can add a number of users into a Zoho Flow organization. It helps in creating a team friendly atmosphere by having multiple people jump into an organization, create their own connections, which can help create cross team flows by using the connections from different users inside the flow. And you can use logic elements such as decisions, delays, and also custom functions in most cases, where you can fill the gaps that might be available, that may be there present between these features inside Zoho Flow. Or if an application is missing a feature and that can be used by custom functions, you can solve it through Zoho Flow. And if you take a look at the Zoho Flow gallery, you'll be able to find a lot of these pre-built integrations which have a very intuitive way of helping you set up a flow. It will have a drag and drop builder, as well as a prompt which would allow you to do the exact thing that has to be done to complete the flow in a quick manner. And flow becomes a very important part of Zoho One, because it helps you connect the Zoho applications, and which helps you set up a better Zoho ecosystem. Okay. Currently, there are close to 10,000 plus flows built just between Zoho applications, and you can have as many as six. And six is just a little number. You can have as more than six, or you can even have 10 and 20 applications in one particular flow. And from our analytics, it is known that 1 in 3 Zoho One users use Zoho Flow to set up complex integrations, and the number seems to be increasing day by day. So this is the concept of a flow. There is a trigger. A trigger is nothing but one event happening in one application, and these are the set of actions. It is a one-to-many concept, where you can have just one trigger in a flow, but you can have many actions following it. So event A in application A can be the trigger of the flow, and then based on that trigger, you can have three different actions from different applications, or it could be the same application where different actions are performed. And to control this or have a data driven decision, you can set up the logic element such as the decision box, where you can check for a particular field value, and based on that you can branch the decision into multiple actions. Let's take an example. When a new appointment is scheduled in Calendly, we are trying to create a new lead in CRM. But let's say we have a scenario where there are multiple users, and we will have to assign the lead to one particular user based on the user selected in the Calendly appointment. We can use the decision where the username can be set up in the decision, and we can have three different create lead actions where the exact user would be mapped to that particular appointment. Okay. So talking about how Zoho gets into contract management and how it can help you set up a seamless flow of integrations between the different applications, I'm going to discuss about the scenario where onboarding of candidates for a company can be simplified through Zoho. Let's say we send out an offer letter to an candidate, and he comes back with a signed offer letter. And since the Zoho Sign can be used to send out the documents. We can set up the trigger in Zoho Flow, which can track when a document is signed and received by the company. So what happens is, like I mentioned, event A in application A. So when a document is signed in Zoho Sign and it is received, the flow will trigger. And then what we do is we go ahead and get the candidate details from the Zoho Recruit, where the details are already published there. And then we use a decision to check if the candidate actually belongs to the engineering team or the marketing team. And then add a couple more actions where a Trello card is created in the engineering team's board in Trello, which is a third party application. And then we send a private message in the onboarding team channel for the engineering team. Similarly, we can do the same for the marketing team. And the data driven decision, this is how it can be done. When you look at the configuration of the decision, you can see that the decision is configured to check if a field from recruit has the value engineering and the field in recruit is department. So if it equals engineering, we can check for the same. And then we can also add a few more details from the trigger to the send message. Let's say if the message has to be a little more customized and a little more personal, we can set up the message to map the values from the trigger where the joining date is part of the custom fields in sign, and we can map it into the message so the person who's handling the Slack channel could get more details on when the employee is joining and what is his needs, does he need a laptop, etc. So this is how Zoho Flow can be a part of the contract management system. Let's say in here, from the day the employee has signed the document till the day the employee joins, all the teams have been alerted, and all the teams can work together on this employee without any manual intervention required from anyone. So that's how Zoho Flow helps you connect these different applications. And in today's time, different teams depend on different applications rather than the set of the team itself. So when we connect different teams, different applications together, we connect the different teams together. And when all the teams fall into one circle, that's how a great business can be built. That's it for Zooflows. And please share any questions in the questions box. And over to you, Priya.
Thank you, Sham, for walking us through Zoho Flow and its integration with Zoho Sign. I'm sure it will be a great application for a lot of businesses to set up automated e-sign workflows. Yeah, so moving on. So, one of the biggest obstacles during this agreement cycle is probably notifying your team members about the project or deal updates. But with apps like Zoho Cliq and Zoho Mail, you can simplify your team communication with organized conversations and secured business emails. So, let's take a use case where the HR team in your organization wants an updated social media policy document to be signed by all their employees. Now let's see how this can be achieved with both the app integrations with Zoho Sign. Starting with Zoho Click. So you can create a sign form from the existing templates in your Zoho Sign account, and then you can share it with your internal team through Zoho Click. So the first step is to go to the template section in Zoho Sign application and choose the template for which you want to create the sign form. Now enter the name. So this can basically be anything you want. Then you can set the validity period as needed and choose the delivery mode for recipients to receive the authentication code. Not just that, you can also set maximum limit for your sign form responses. So once it is done, you can just click create. So you have now created a sign form. All you have to do now is copy this URL and share it with your internal team through Zoho Click channels. So yeah, so now let's see how the same use case can be achieved with Zoho Mail and Zoho Sign integration. So first you need to log into your Zoho Mail account. As you can see, this is the Zoho Mail dashboard. Now you have to click on the e-widget icon, which is at the top right corner of your mailbox, and then you have to search for Zoho Sign extension. So if you are an existing Zoho Sign user, This integration will be enabled by default and you can just start using the extension right away. If you do not have a Zoho Sign account, you have to create one by clicking create account. So I'm assuming I have a Zoho Sign account, so extension is added. So now you can open an email with attachments to add documents so that you can sign them or send them out for signatures. So just select the attachments that need to be sent out for signature and click send for signatures. Well, as you can see, you can add the recipients by just clicking the plus icon, and then you have to enter the recipient name as well as email address. So yeah, so once you have added your recipients, you can just set the recipient action using the drop down menu. So when it is set to signer, recipient has to just fill form fields and attach their signature to documents. You can also set the recipient action to approver or in-person signer or receives a copy, in which case recipient will just simply receive the signed copy of document. Not just that, you can also verify your signer's identity by enabling the authentication code. So, by doing this, you can ensure that your documents are not tampered by unauthorized users. So, this code will be delivered to your recipients through email, SMS, or other offline means. So, you can also set a private message to be sent with the document for each recipient. So once you have configured the entire digital workflow, you can just click add. Well, as you can see, you can also leave a common note to all your recipients. And once it is done, you can just click continue. So you'll be taken to the Zoho Sign document viewer page where you can just drag and drop signature fields onto your document and then just click send at the top. So you'll see a dialog confirmation dialog box. So you just have to verify the number of document fields added for each recipient and then just confirm so that the documents are sent out for signature. So you'll see the following message once the document has been successfully sent. So you can just track the document status you have sent out for signature in the Zoho Mail itself. So to do that, you have to click on the menu icon which is at the top right corner of your Zoho mailbox and then click all documents to view your Zoho Sign documents. So from this list of Zoho Sign documents displayed, click on the document the details of which you just want to view. As you can see, you can track the individual status of each document recipient under the recipient status section. Well, this is how you can use Zoho Sign integration with Cliq and Mail for team collaborations as well as to set up workflows to collect signatures and approvals on your digital paperwork. So, probably the next biggest challenge during this agreement cycle will be is to negotiate with your external stakeholders, and with our Zoho Sign and Zoho Meeting integration, you can just complete your personal as well as work related tasks virtually from anywhere around the globe. So you can just get on a video meeting with your stakeholders and sign agreements virtually. If you want to review the agreements together, you can just review it before signing, and you can also make changes at any point during the meeting if needed. So, by this way, you can also verify your signer's identity in the video session, which leads us to no chances for forgery or tampering. Not just that, you also don't have to wait for longer time to receive the documents once they are signed, and it's obviously way more faster than you sending your emails back and forth. So yeah, now that we have seen drafting agreements from the beginning, collaborating within your internal teams, and then negotiating with external stakeholders, let's see how we can collect signatures on these documents, which is achievable with Zoho Sign. So, as I mentioned earlier in the session, Zoho Sign is a digital signature application which is used by small, medium, as well as large scale businesses. So, you can set up automated e sign workflows and you can just manage them at any time and from anywhere. It is available across multiple platforms and supports around 12 different languages. So, in addition to your web browsers and computers, you can also access Zoho Sign on iOS, iPadOS, and macOS. So, as long as you have proper internet connection, you will be able to use Zoho Sign application. So, as you can see, here are some digital signature providers we have integrated with for signer authentication. Let's say if you're from European region, you can use qualified electronic signatures, and if you're from India, you can just use Aadhaar eSign and SingPass if you're from Singapore. We have also integrated with different service providers based on the region. Yeah. So you can easily get started with Zoho Sign app, and if you need any help at any point, our support team is always up for helping you with onboarding. So this is the Zoho Sign dashboard. The user interface is very simple and practically self-explanatory for any user. If you are someone new to Zoho Sign, you can just sign up for 14-day free enterprise trial. So yeah, try the app by yourself and let us know if you have any feedback. So when you want to create an agreement, you'll edit its content and you have to share it with other related stakeholders. You can use Writer as a comprehensive editor. But in case you just want to start with a standard agreement whose content has been reviewed, you can just directly upload the document into Zoho Sign. So, as you can see, you can also configure the entire digital signature workflow by just adding recipient details, setting the recipient action, and adding private messages, and many more. So, once it is done, just drag and drop the signature fields onto your document and then send them out for signature. So once this document has been sent out for signature, you can also track the status of documents in detail in the Zoho Sign Documents menu section. As you can see, it shows John Martin has viewed the document as well as signed. But the second recipient has just viewed the document and he hasn't signed the document. So, yeah, this way you can also track the document status in real time. Not just that, to reinforce your branding, you can use Zoho Sign emails feature. So as you can see, you can add your company's logo and you can customize the header message as well as button message of the emails you send using Zoho Sign app to collect signatures. So you can also generate detailed reports of all the documents that has been signed and sent from your account, and then you can just filter them based on categories like document status, document type, validity, and activity history. So Zoho Sign also issues a completion certificate mentioning the recipient details, device used, and the authentication type whenever a recipient has signed the document for legal purposes. So we know that security is usually the biggest concern anyone has before using any digital signature service. Well, you don't have to worry about that when using Zoho Sign because the documents signed using our application are legally valid and it meets the standards of various e-sign laws across the world, like e-sign act in USA, PIPEDA in Canada, IDAS in Europe, ITA 2000 in India, and Electronic Transactions Act in Australia. So you don't have to worry about the security and you can just leave it to us. Since ZohoSign is built on REST APIs, you can just easily integrate with other applications. As you can see, ZohoSign is one of the most tightly integrated apps within the Zoho ecosystem. It offers around 18 integrations with other Zoho apps. So if you are a developer, you can just integrate with more apps using Deluge, Zoho's low-code scripting language, and you can also set up workflows using Zoho Flow, which we have seen earlier in the session. Well, Zoho Sign is not just restricted to simply integrating with Zoho apps, but also with a wide range of other applications. You can combine Zoho Sign with thousands of web services with integrations like Integromat, FormStack, Integrately, and Zapier. We have integrations with CRMs like HubSpot, Vitega CRM, and integrations with cloud storage solutions like Dropbox, Box, and also integrations with mailboxes like Outlook and Gmail. Now, Mauli will be taking you through some popular use cases where Zoho Sign can be your go-to solution. Over to you, Mauli.
Thank you, Priya. I'm taking the session control. Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Now I will walk you through the popular use cases of the agreement signing process within the Zoho ecosystem. The first one and the most popular one is the integration of Zoho Sign with the Zoho Writer. Be it anything, if you want to draft an agreement, be it legal or HR one or the sales oriented one, you can go ahead, go to the writer, start up building an online version of your document, collaborate with your internal team members, and once you feel the document is ready, you can also send it out to collect signatures directly from the writer interface. And once the document is signed, you can also track the status directly from the writer interface. So the next one is the Zoho Signs integration or the Zoho Sign extension with our flagship Zoho CRM. Let's assume you add a new lead to your Zoho CRM and you want to send out a non-disclosure agreement and get it signed from your client. You can just go ahead to the Zoho CRM settings and marketplace and add this extension. And once that is done, you can go to your lead module, click on any lead. You would see this button called Send for Zoho Sign. You can click on that button. You can import the document or the agreement directly from your CRM templates or directly from the Zoho Sign templates and hit on the send button. It is as simple as that, and the signed copy will also be saved under the same lead record. So it is very simple and easy, and it will help you to close your deals faster than ever before. So the next one is the integration of Zoho Sign with our HRMS, Zoho People. So if you are going to onboard a new employee as a HR, you would have a lot of documents that should be signed, starting with the NDA, social media policy, leave policy, and whatnot. So we have hundreds of, or at least tens of documents that should be signed by every single person joining a company. So you can go to Zoho People under the candidates portal. You can add the number of documents under files, and you can send out these documents and collect signatures from your employees. By this way, you can collect signatures faster than ever before and also offer a great employee experience. So the next popular use case is Zoho Signs integration with our applicant tracking system, Zoho Recruit. So as a HR, you would be interested to send offer letters or call letters to your candidates, and you can do it all directly from by installing the Zoho Sign extension for Zoho Recruit. And you can, once the candidate accepts the offer, he can also become part of Zoho People, and you can also collect all this onboarding documents signed digitally with the help of Zoho Sign. So Zoho Sign also readily integrates with our finance suite. So we have a ready-made integration with Zoho Books, Zoho Invoice, and Zoho Inventory. And to collect payments, we also offer integration with Zoho Checkout. So be it any finance use case, first you need to send out an estimate. So for that, you need to digitally sign the estimate, and your customer should also sign that estimate. Once it is done, you also need to sign your invoice. So all of these use cases are possible with the Zoho Sign extension for books, invoice, inventory. And if you are someone who also have payments to be collected during the agreement signing process, especially in the real estate scenario, there is also a new field in Zoho Sign which is recently introduced, which is called as the payment field. By integrating Zoho Sign with Zoho Checkout, you can also collect payments while executing your agreements. So now I will also walk you through some of the regional features. So Priya talked about the different levels of e-signatures and standard, advanced, and qualified. So Zogo Sign offers all these levels of e-signatures, and it also readily complies with all the legal laws. So we have also launched a set of partnership with qualified trust service providers, especially for our customers in the European Union. So in the European Union, the highest level of digital signature is called as the qualified electronic signature. So here, instead of using Zoho's digital certificate, customers can go ahead do a face-to-face identity verification, get their own certificate, and sign the document. We have partnership with Unataka, Infocert, and other providers. You can just go ahead to the settings integration page of Zoho Sign and you can turn on this feature. By signing document this way, your document is others to the 100 level, the highest level of document compliance in the European Union. It is directly equivalent to signing documents with pen and paper. So if you are someone in the European Union who knows about qualified electronic signatures, you would definitely love this feature. So the popular use cases for this feature are in the regulated scenarios like banking documents, financial documents, KYC forms, and all of those sorts. So Zoho Sign also recently introduced signer's identity verification in the European Union using the EID methods. If you have your bank card or any of the EID approved methods, you can go ahead and you can add this authentication method while sending out a document. So whenever we send out a document, Zoho Sign offers this OTP feature or additional authentication feature to once again verify only the person is signing the document. Zoho already offers authentication via or OTP via SMS, email, and offline methods. Now, this is the new recent addition to Zoho Sign. You can verify the signer's identity with European EU EID methods. So here are some great brands in different sites of businesses across the globe using Zoho Sign for their digital signature process. So now it's time for questions. So I will go on mute and we as a team will showcase the list of questions and answer them now. So there are many responses with regards to the poll. So we could see a lot of customers are using multiple Zoho apps together. It is very good to know. Sorry, the we couldn't have option to select multiple apps in the poll. So, but we can understand that customers are using already multiple Zoho apps together. So many questions around the presentation and the recording. So, okay. Jawad has this question. I have a hospital and need consent forms to be taken in person while they come to hospital. Which Zoho app or integration I can use? Hi Jawad, we have already answered this question, but we also understand this use case might be applicable or useful for other attendees as well. So, if you are someone who is particularly in sales, marketing, or especially in the customer facing role, or in hospitals or whatever it be, you can make use of Zoho Signs in-person signing feature, meaning you don't need to send out and you don't need to log into Zoho Sign, add their email address. You can just go ahead to their place, collect signatures directly from your mobile device. This is also 100% legally valid and it is acceptable in the court of law. So Ashik has this question. So we as a company, we have this procedure to have company seals. Can we use it in Zoho Sign? So this is another a popular use case, especially in the APAC region where businesses use their own seals. So we also have recently announced this feature in Zoho Sign. You can go to the settings organization details page, if I'm correct. So you can go there, you can add your company details and also add your company stamp there. So by this way, your profile will also have your company stamp, and there is also a new stamp field in Zoho Sign which you can make use of, or the image field. So Shyam or Rohit, do you want to showcase any particular answer to the audience? You can just go ahead and do that. Okay, I could also see most of these questions are already answered by the writer and flow team folks. So I think Priya, you can take over the session. We can answer all the questions, the other questions over email, and we will also make sure all the attendees and the registration registered users will receive the recording and the slide deck to a registered email address as soon as possible. So over to you, Priya.
Yeah. Thank you, Molly, for educating us how Zoho Sign can be used in various scenarios by just integrating with other Zoho apps. And thank you for answering all the queries. So, yeah, here are some important URLs for you to get started with Zoho Sign. If you are stuck at any point while setting up your Zoho Sign account, you can always find related help docs in the first link. We also have individual links for your solutions guide and API guide. We have our own YouTube channel where we upload all our previous webinar recordings. So if you have any other queries, ideas, or you just want to engage in discussions with our community of developers and users, you can always visit our forums and participate. I have also given the links for you to read up on the legality of Zoho Sign in your country and its pricing as well. If you need a personalized demo, you can always write to support at zohosign.com. So, yeah. So, here are some similar important URLs and links to resources for Writer, Flow, and Mail. So, for any questions or queries that you might have about setting up the app, you can always refer to their help section. And to find more about the various integrations they have and how you can set them up, you can visit their add on section and read up. To know more about their pricing plans, you can check out their pricing page and learn what suits your business the best. Well, with that, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you for all your queries, and if you have any feedback to share, feel free to write to support at zohosign.com. We do welcome your feedback and we'll use it to continue improving our app service. Special thanks to all the panelists for answering all the queries as well as all the co-trainers. So yeah, you can also visit our social media pages for our latest announcements and product updates. Feel free to comment on our posts or DM us there to engage with us if you are a social bug. So, as I mentioned earlier, we have recorded this session and we'll be sending the copy of the recording along with the slide deck to all our participants. So, thank you so much for taking time to attend this session. This is Priya signing off on behalf of the entire panel. Thank you and have a great day.